Welcome to Headphone News, International Edition for Friday, January 17th, 2025.
Global unemployment trends and challenges. The International Labor Organization, or ILO, has reported that global unemployment is holding strong at a record low of 5%. This is the lowest rate we've seen since the ILO began tracking in 1991. However, there's a cautionary note. Economic growth has slowed down, dropping from 3.3% to about 3.2% last year, which could limit job opportunities ahead. While the global economy is still expanding, it may lose momentum, making it harder for the labor market to recover sustainably. ILO Director General Gilbert Houngbo stresses the urgent need for bold actions to create quality jobs for everyone. The report also highlights troubling disparities, especially among young people, who face an unemployment rate of 12.6%. In some areas like South Africa, unemployment exceeds 30%. To tackle these issues, the ILO recommends boosting job creation through investments in education and establishing funds from money sent home by migrant workers, which could help support development in poorer regions.
Doug Burgum's Energy Policy Vision. Doug Burgum, nominated as Secretary of the Interior by President-elect Donald Trump, will speak to lawmakers on January 16, 2025. He plans to stress the need to increase energy production from public lands, arguing that this is essential for national security. This nomination responds to the previous administration's efforts to limit oil and gas drilling to combat climate change. Burgum believes that producing energy domestically is cleaner and safer than relying on countries like Russia, Venezuela, and Iran, where regulations are often weaker. The Interior Department manages vast federal lands crucial for drilling, which currently provides a quarter of the nation's oil and gas. With the U.S. now the world leader in oil and gas production, largely due to a boom in Texas and New Mexico, Burgum is also being considered to lead a new National Energy Council. This nomination signals a dramatic change in U.S. energy policy, potentially impacting energy prices and environmental regulations.
Economic impact of political turmoil in South Korea. Ri Chon-yong, the governor of the Bank of Korea, recently spoke to the media in Seoul about the serious effects of political chaos on South Korea's economy, which is the fourth largest in Asia. He pointed out that political stability is now more important than ever, even more so than U.S. monetary policies. The Bank of Korea has decided to keep the interest rate steady at 3%, a move influenced by the weakening South Korean won, currently trading at about 1,450 KRW per USD. This decision comes after a political crisis sparked by President Yoon Suk-yeol's controversial attempt to impose martial law last December, which has led to a lowered economic growth forecast for 2025, now at 1.8%. Interestingly, the recent arrest of President Yoon, the first of a sitting president in South Korea, has unexpectedly provided some support to the won. The fluctuations in the dollar-won exchange rate are being shaped by both U.S. inflation reports and ongoing political developments. This situation highlights how crucial a stable political environment is for economic growth in South Korea.
Immigration challenges under Trump administration. Blanca Figueroa and Severiano Martinez live in constant fear of deportation. Figueroa, who entered the United States illegally from Guatemala, faces increased anxiety as President-elect Donald Trump prepares to issue new orders to speed up deportations. They reside in Florida with their two sons, one a U.S. citizen and the other a green card holder. ICE estimates that about 1.4 million people could be targeted for deportation, with many living in Florida and Texas. Sheriff John Budensiek has pointed out that many detainees in his jails could be easy targets for ICE. Despite marrying a U.S. citizen, Figueroa has struggled to legalize her status after missing an immigration court hearing. Martinez, a longtime Republican voter, chose not to vote last year due to the heated immigration debates. He hopes the harsh rhetoric around mass deportations won't become reality. Figueroa remains optimistic, stating, "We have to have faith," highlighting the ongoing struggles many immigrants face as new policies loom.
India's historic achievement in space docking. On January 16, 2025, India made history by becoming the fourth nation to successfully achieve space docking, a groundbreaking milestone in its pursuit of leadership in the global space market, valued at around $400 billion. The Indian Space Research Organisation, or ISRO, accomplished this remarkable feat with two satellites, Target and Chaser, each about the size of a large refrigerator. The docking occurred at 9 a.m. in Bengaluru, paving the way for future satellite servicing and interplanetary exploration. Astrophysicist Jayant Murthy highlighted the technology's vital role in building future space stations. The mission, called the Space Docking Experiment, or SPOTIX, launched on December 30, 2024, and included 24 payloads, including cowpea seeds to study plant growth in microgravity. Prime Minister Narendra Modi celebrated this achievement as a significant step for India's space ambitions. On the same day, the Indian government approved a new launch pad in Andhra Pradesh, with a budget of about 40 billion rupees, aimed at enhancing India's space capabilities. With the global commercial space market projected to reach $1 trillion by 2030, India is positioning itself as a key player in the future of space exploration.
U.S. stock index futures surge ahead of bank earnings. U.S. stock index futures surged on January 16, 2025, with the Dow E-mini futures climbing 6 points, the S&P 500 E-mini futures rising 12.25 points, and the Nasdaq 100 E-mini futures gaining 72.75 points. This positive momentum comes as major U.S. banks, including J.P. Morgan Chase & Co., Morgan Stanley, and Bank of America, prepare to release crucial financial results that could boost investor confidence. Recently, Wall Street saw its largest one-day jump since November 6, 2024, following news of declining inflation. As of January 2025, 82.1% of the 28 companies in the S&P 500 that reported their financial results exceeded analyst expectations. Economists are predicting a 0.6% rise in retail sales for December, with unemployment claims data also on the way. Peter Graff, Chief Investment Officer at Nikko Asset Management Americas, noted that stabilizing inflation and employment figures could shift market focus to upcoming earnings and policy announcements. In other news, shares of Taiwan's semiconductor manufacturing company soared 3.7% after announcing record profits driven by strong demand for AI chips. Meanwhile, Southwest Airlines saw a 2.8% drop in shares following a legal action from the U.S. government over delayed flights. What do these trends mean for everyday investors?
FDIC lawsuit against Silicon Valley Bank executives. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, or FDIC, is suing 17 former executives and directors of Silicon Valley Bank, aiming to recover billions of dollars. The lawsuit claims these individuals showed gross negligence and violated their fiduciary duties, contributing to the bank's dramatic collapse in March 2023, one of the largest banking failures in U.S. history. Filed in San Francisco, the complaint highlights how the defendants ignored crucial banking standards, leading SVB to take excessive risks for short-term profits. A major point of contention is a $294 million dividend paid to SVB's parent company just before the bank's failure, which drained essential capital during a critical time. At the time of its collapse, SVB held around $209 billion in assets. Key figures in the lawsuit include former CEO Gregory Becker and former CFO Daniel Beck, while Laura Azurieta, the former chief risk officer, argues she provided sound risk management advice before her resignation. The fallout from SVB's collapse sent shockwaves through the tech industry, impacting many startups that depended on the bank for funding. This failure has raised concerns about the stability of other banks, including Signature Bank and First Republic Bank, echoing fears reminiscent of the 2008 banking crisis.
Tech groups challenge CFPB's new rule on digital payments. Two major technology trade groups, NetChoice and TechNet, have launched a lawsuit against the U.S. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, or CFPB, in Washington, D.C. They aim to block a new rule that gives the CFPB oversight of digital payment apps and wallets run by large tech companies. The groups argue that Congress never authorized the CFPB to impose these regulations and that there are no identified consumer risks to justify this move. Announced on November 21, 2023, the rule is intended to protect users of digital payment services, ensuring they receive the same safeguards against fraud and privacy violations as traditional bank customers. Rohit Chopra, the CFPB director, stated that digital payments have become essential, highlighting the need for regulatory oversight. However, the lawsuit raises concerns that this rule could stifle innovation, limit competition, and drive up costs for consumers. It specifically targets companies handling at least 50 million transactions each year, which adds up to over 13 billion transactions. The outcome of this legal battle could significantly shape the future of digital payments and the regulatory landscape for financial technology.
Jiusheng detained amid property crisis. Jiusheng, the CEO of China Bank, has been arrested by police in Shenzhen, marking a dramatic turn in the ongoing financial crisis facing the company. This follows reports of a government team stepping in to oversee Bank's operations, raising concerns about a potential takeover of this major real estate developer. Bank has struggled significantly since a debt crisis began in 2021, with sales plummeting and its ranking dropping from the second-largest developer to fifth place. Property sector, once a key part of China's economy, is now grappling with unprecedented debt levels. Despite government efforts to stabilize the market, including cutting mortgage rates, challenges remain. Bank currently holds $3.4 billion in public bonds and is seeking funds to meet its financial responsibilities due in 2025. Zhu's arrest could further shake investor trust in an already unstable market, leaving many to wonder about the future of Bank and the broader real estate landscape in China.
Citigroup's job cuts and restructuring plans. Citigroup, a leading global financial services firm based in New York, has revealed plans to cut more jobs as part of its ongoing restructuring efforts. This move follows a substantial strategy introduced by CEO Jane Fraser in late 2023, aimed at improving operations and addressing long-standing issues in data management and risk oversight. Several managing directors from the wealth and technology divisions will be leaving, including Shadman Zuffer, the co-chief information officer in Dallas. The bank confirmed Zuffer's retirement, emphasizing that leadership changes are common during such transitions. Citigroup recently completed a major overhaul to boost earnings and streamline functions. The bank also plans to list Banamex, its Mexican subsidiary, on stock exchanges in Mexico and the United States this year, although market conditions may delay this until 2026. In 2024, Citigroup's stock jumped by 37%, outperforming the broader banking index as investors responded positively to Fraser's transformation efforts. What does this mean for Citigroup's future?
Ukrainian Khartiia Brigade's breakthrough in remote warfare. On January 16, 2025, the Khartiia Brigade, a Ukrainian military unit, achieved a major breakthrough in the ongoing conflict with Russia by carrying out attacks using remote-controlled unmanned vehicles. This operation took place in the Kharkiv region, a hotspot of fighting since Russia's invasion began in February 2022. The brigade shared footage of a December 2024 attack, showcasing a pivotal moment in military technology. These unmanned vehicles, armed with machine guns, operate without crew members, significantly reducing risks to soldiers during assaults. Spokesperson Volodymyr Dedyaurov emphasized the importance of using technology to save lives in a conflict that has already claimed about 43,000 Ukrainian soldiers. This innovative approach marks a shift in military tactics, allowing for reconnaissance and mine operations with minimal human involvement. As the war nears its 3-year mark, the reliance on technology in warfare is becoming increasingly clear. The conflict has drawn international attention, impacting global security and military strategies, especially concerning NATO and the European Union. The evolving situation suggests that technology will continue to shape the future of military engagements worldwide.
Cybersecurity breach at U.S. Treasury. A shocking cybersecurity breach has hit the United States Treasury Department, with hackers accessing the computer of U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. This incident, reported by Bloomberg News, involved illegal entry into open files and is linked to a troubling trend of government-backed hackers from China. The breach occurred in December 2024, when the Treasury's security was compromised through a third-party provider called Beyond Trust. Alongside Secretary Yellen, Deputy Secretary Wally Adeyemo, and Acting Under Secretary Brad Smith also faced breaches, with fewer than 50 files accessed from Yellen's computer. This breach raises serious questions about the effectiveness of our current security measures and the risks to national security. It could also strain diplomatic relations between the U.S. and China, adding to ongoing accusations of cyber espionage. This incident serves as a stark reminder of the weaknesses in our government's cybersecurity and the urgent need for stronger protective measures.
That is all the news for today. Thank you for listening to today's Headphone News. News summary brought to you by AI,